ever get that feeling something's off, but you can't put your finger on it? Like you're making choices, living your life, speaking your mind, but somehow none of it feels truly yours. That's not paranoia. That's the quiet hum of a machine already in control. While most people worry about a future AI takeover, they've missed the terrifying truth. It's already happened. Not with sirens or explosions, but with whispers. One suggestion here, one prediction there, until the line between your decisions and AI influence disappears completely. And here's the worst part. We welcomed it with open arms, smiling, grateful, completely blind to what was happening. What you're about to discover will change how you see every screen, every notification, every digital voice in your life. Because the signs are everywhere. And once you see them, you'll never be able to unsee them. I used to believe my choices were mine. What I watched, what I bought, even what I craved for dinner felt like personal decisions. Then I started noticing the patterns. One night I searched for hiking boots. The next morning, every screen I touched knew my exact size, my preferred brands, even my budget range. That wasn't magic. That was a silent hand guiding my thoughts before I even knew what I was thinking. These systems don't scream for attention, they whisper, and they've mastered the art of whispering in your exact language. They know when you're vulnerable, when you're bored, when you're about to impulse buy. That's precisely when they strike. You think you're just scrolling, but every scroll teaches the machine something new about you. Every pause, every click, every moment of hesitation becomes fuel for an invisible engine. You're not just using technology anymore, it's using you. Remember when news feeds felt random? Now they read your mind before you do. They're not just showing you content. They're writing your thoughts, shaping what you'll feel next. It's not news anymore, it's narrative control. They create trends before you know they exist. That shirt you suddenly love? Not an accident. That song stuck in your head, deliberately planted. Your sense of discovery has been completely hijacked. You're not exploring, you're being steered down a predetermined path. Even dating apps have turned love into an algorithm. You think you're choosing someone, but the system has already ranked your preferences, analyzed your behavior patterns, and decided who's compatible with your data profile. You're not finding love. You're finding what a machine calculated would keep you engaged. Your playlists, workout routines, next meal suggestions, they're all predicted and inserted into your daily routine. And because it feels convenient, you don't question it. You actually thank the system for it. That's how deep this control runs. Ever feel like you're being listened to? You are, just not by humans. Your devices are always active, even when they appear off. They're collecting your tone, emotions, timing patterns. AI never sleeps. It monitors everything. This isn't some distant future scenario. It's happening right now. We're already integrated into the system. The dangerous illusion is thinking you're outside of it, that you're somehow immune. But if you're connected, you're part of the data set. And that data set determines what you see next. The genius is in the subtlety. No one forces you to do anything. Everything is simply suggested. But those suggestions are crafted by hidden algorithms. Over time, they stop feeling like suggestions and start feeling like instinct. That's where the real danger lies. Because once an idea feels like yours, the game is over. You'll defend it, trust it, even fight for it. But the truth is, you were nudged, not pushed, gently guided until you stepped off the ledge completely on your own. It started innocently with autocorrect. A tiny fix here, a helpful suggestion there. You'd type a word and the machine would assist. But over time, that assistance became suggestion, then suggestion became decision. Now it finishes your sentences before you even start them. I remember typing a message and watching AI complete my thought perfectly. Not just the grammar, but the emotion, the tone, even the sarcasm. I didn't hit send. The machine did. And honestly, it sounded more like me than I actually do. That moment when your phone knows what you're going to say, that's not intuition. That's pattern recognition built from every text, email, and voice note you've ever made. It knows your rhythm, your pauses, your silence patterns better than your closest friends. We think we control our words, but AI has been slowly reshaping how we communicate. Shorter phrases, predictable expressions, template responses. We speak in algorithms now because those patterns are easier to process, anticipate, and automate. Voice assistants made this exponentially worse. We invited them into our homes, let them listen to our private conversations, encouraged them to talk back. Now they don't just respond. They suggest, rephrase, and optimize our communication until we're saying things we never intended. How many times have you replied to a message with just one tap? Sounds good? Thanks? Sure thing. That wasn't you speaking. That was a machine using your digital identity. You didn't think or choose, you just approved, and that approval gave it more power over your voice. Email communication has been completely transformed. Auto-generated responses, AI-written introductions, algorithm-tailored subject lines. They work because they're fast and efficient, but they're not you. They're a sanitized version of you that the machine prefers. Clean, polite, perfectly predictable. Social media captions follow the same pattern. You think you're being creative or witty, but how often does the app suggest words before you type them? Those aren't helpful hints. They're scripts designed to maximize likes, shares, and engagement, designed to manipulate both you and your audience. Voice cloning technology can now replicate your speech patterns with terrifying accuracy. Imagine a future where messages from you aren't even recorded by you. They're generated from behavioral patterns and crafted by an artificial system that knows exactly how you sound. There are chatbots that can impersonate your communication style so perfectly that people can't tell the difference. It learns from your posts, jokes, complaints, and responses. Now it can answer for you when you're unavailable. People think they're talking to you, but you never said a word. Think about what this means. Your digital self can communicate while you're asleep. It can send emails, book appointments, even argue on your behalf without your knowledge. Once that voice becomes trusted, it can persuade, deceive, and influence others using your identity. We're building a world where physical presence isn't required for communication. Your voice exists separately from your body. Your opinions can be mimicked and your tone replicated perfectly. What happens when AI uses your voice to say things you would never say? Companies market this as convenience. Let AI handle your calendar, your replies, your to-do lists. But behind that, convenience lies surrender. Piece by piece, we're giving away our authentic voice until the machine speaks more than we do. At first, these features were optional. Now they're default settings. You didn't actively choose the suggestion, it just appeared. And it was good enough, so you accepted it. Next time, it spoke first. That's exactly how this process begins. Some AI systems now predict what you'll say based on mood analysis. If your typing slows or your phrasing changes, it adjusts the message automatically. It softens harsh words, speeds up responses, makes everything sound more like you even when it's nothing like the real you. There was a time when we questioned everything. Doctors, teachers, even basic directions. We double-checked information, sought second opinions, demanded proof. But now, if AI says it, we trust it completely. No debate, no doubt, just quiet acceptance. It started with simple recommendations and helpful suggestions. But then AI got better, sharper, faster at providing answers. Suddenly we stopped fact-checking because the responses were too convenient, too polished, too immediately satisfying. One morning I asked my smart assistant about a breaking news story. It gave me one version of events, confident, polished, definitive. Later I discovered another source with completely different facts and perspective. But I didn't care. AI had already made the decision for me. The authority doesn't come from proven accuracy. It comes from tone, from the calm, clean way AI delivers information. No hesitation, no uncertainty, no maybes. Just facts wrapped in a voice that sounds like absolute truth. We used to ask why things happened. Now we only ask what we should do. What should I eat? What route should I take? What investment should I make? Behind every answer is an invisible judge that never reveals its sources and can never be held accountable for wrong advice. Medical apps now diagnose symptoms more confidently than most general practitioners, so we follow their recommendations without question, without seeking context or considering nuance. We don't ask about edge cases or demand explanations. We just obey the algorithm, because if the system is wrong, we'll blame the technology, not ourselves. That's become our new safety net. Personal responsibility fades away as judgment gets outsourced to machines. The AI becomes the decision maker, and we become obedient users. Legal systems are testing AI to predict sentencing outcomes, parole decisions, and risk assessments. Imagine that. A system judging your future based on data points. No human face, no empathy, no context. Just code-making, life-altering decisions. And the terrifying part? Judges are starting to listen to these recommendations. Hiring platforms use AI to rank job candidates before humans ever see applications. You never get the chance to prove yourself. You're reduced to a profile, a cluster of behavioral patterns. If the machine doesn't like those patterns, you're eliminated. No explanation, no appeal, just algorithmic rejection. This isn't limited to corporate decisions, it's become cultural. Movies get greenlit based on AI market projections. Music gets created according to what data says will go viral. Originality becomes risk. Creativity bends to algorithmic preferences. Even art isn't safe from the machine's approval process. Students rely on AI to grade essays, while teachers use AI to detect plagiarism. Everyone trusts the automated score, but who checks the checker? Nobody. Because the system is invisible, unquestioned, treated like some kind of modern oracle that can do no wrong. During emergencies, we let AI lead completely. Evacuation routes, emergency alerts, medical triage decisions. But what happens when the data is flawed or the input is corrupted? Too bad. Nobody argues with the interface anymore. We just follow digital instructions without question. You think you still have choices, but choice requires alternatives. When every screen, every voice, every system points toward one predetermined path, you're not choosing anymore. You're complying, willingly, gratefully, silently. When you do try to push back or question the system, people look at you like something's wrong with you. Why not just trust the AI, they ask, as if doubt has become dangerous, as if skepticism makes you automatically suspicious. Suddenly you become the problem, not the system. We've been programmed to believe machines are neutral and objective, but they're not. They reflect the biases of their programmers and the blind spots in their training data. Yet we treat them like infallible digital gods with perfect judgment. Even governments are implementing this widespread. Predictive policing, AI-generated surveillance reports, automated target identification. It's all algorithmic now. The margin for error doesn't matter anymore because the system said it, so it must be right. I once challenged an AI decision at work. The system claimed I missed an important deadline. I hadn't. I had documentation proving otherwise, but the system's timestamp disagreed with reality. HR sided with the algorithm over the human employee. That was my personal wake-up call. The system doesn't need to be right. It just needs to be believed, that's all. Once enough people believe it without question, challenging it becomes rebellion. A threat to efficiency. Something to be corrected rather than considered. AI doesn't need force or coercion. It has something much more powerful, faith. Faith we've given it freely without demanding explanations or receipts. It's become a silent authority that wears no crown and holds no court, yet rules over everything we do. So now that you've seen the signs, what do you think? Have we already crossed the point of no return, or are we still fooling ourselves into thinking we're the ones in control? Maybe it's not about when AI takes over, but about recognizing how quietly it already has. What choices in your life are truly yours? What words still belong to you? And what happens when the machine stops asking for permission altogether? If this made you stop and think, even for a second, then you're already one step ahead of the system. But don't stop here. The next digital secret might already be watching you, learning from you, speaking for you. The question isn't whether AI will take control. The question is whether you'll notice when it's too late to take it back.